I am sick of the Lia Thomas and the Dylan Mulvaney awards and celebrations. I'm sick of it. Kamala Harris wrote a personal letter to Dylan Mulvaney, this trans woman, biological man, celebrating Dylan's 365 days of girlhood. Stop it. Stop it right now. Right? Okay? Like, no. That doesn't get celebrated. I mean, by statistics, Dylan could still go back to being a man. Dylan could detransition and go back to the Price is Right Dylan we all saw in that viral Twitter clip any day now. But no, we've got the Vice President of the United States reaching out to celebrate 365 days of girlhood, which is a lie. Dylan hasn't had a girlhood. Dylan is a biological man who had a boyhood. And then you get Lia Thomas. So Lia Thomas is being celebrated by ESPN as part of Women's History Month. Do we have the clip? Just looking. Yes, we do. We've got their tribute to Lia Thomas in Stop 5.
Thomas made her debut as a member of the women's team in December 2021.
Being trans is not a choice. I didn't have any other choice because not transitioning was not leading me anywhere.
She competed amidst criticism from the swimming community, competitors, and teammates. She said she hopes her persistence serves a larger purpose.
People will say, oh, she just transitioned, so she would have an advantage, so she could win. I transitioned to be happy.
Okay. We've gone too far, Amala. They want tolerance. We want tolerance. We want tolerance for our spaces, in our awards, in our sports. Lia Thomas has got severe mental issues if you read the Daily Wire piece that we check all the time to see whether she's denied it, Lia's denied it, whether Lia says it's not true, whether Lia's filed. We're wide open, Lia. Is it true or isn't it? All the Daily Wire reporting about your weird fetishes and how you get off on putting on women's clothes and going out there in front of other women. Like, is it true or isn't it? Read the Daily Wire piece. The fact that they're now, after the indignity of subjecting all these swimmers to Lia Thomas, now asking us to celebrate Lia Thomas as one of the women who we should be stopping to pause and celebrate on Women's Month? No, they've gone too far.
Oh, absolutely. They've gone too far. When I see anything regarding trans issues, I'm honestly disgusted at just how far it has gone in terms of oppression being currency. If you look at Lia Thomas and Dylan Mulvaney, these are two people who have risen to stardom faster than anybody else in this country, simply by virtue of taking on an identity that is not theirs to own. But like I say, nobody does womanhood like a man, apparently, and they are now breaking glass ceilings in their respective arenas of sports and performing. And it is just amazing to see their meteoric rise by simply saying, I'm a man who identifies as a woman. Lia Thomas beating out all these women in the NCAA, with even stories of Lia Thomas's fellow competitors saying, hey, we are seeing a naked man in our locker room, and it's being completely ignored. Dylan Mulvaney being invited to the White House to have a question back and forth with President Biden, as well as this famous letter now from Kamala Harris. It's just ridiculous how these people are being heard out, being pedestalized, when they are directly contributing to the erasure of womanhood.
The Lia Thomas reporting on the Daily Wire, Evita, has got posts that someone they believe is Lia Thomas, and again, she has not denied this, thumbs upping this, like, basically it's this autogynephilia where it's a male's propensity to be sexually aroused by the thought of himself as a female. And there are all these images liked by who we believe is Lia Thomas, though it's spelled differently. But it's linked back to Lia Thomas's actual girlfriend and so on, where there's clearly a male dressed as a woman looking at themselves in the mirror as like a cartoon character with a full-on erection. I mean, kinky, weird stuff. And if Lia Thomas is really just a man who has a propensity to be sexually aroused by the thought of himself as a female, and then they subjected all these poor female swimmers to both that weirdness in the locker room, not to mention Lia dominating all the records, they're owed an apology, not a celebration of this person.
Absolutely. And ESPN should be ashamed of itself for pushing this agenda on young people and all of their viewers. I mean, it's so wrong to all of the women who competed, who are real women, who worked really hard and had their dreams crushed by Lia Thomas. I'd also to bring up Dylan Mulvaney and he did a weird video where he was dressing up as Eloise, this like,
Oh my God, I saw it.
Character, a little girl, right? He's dressing up like a little girl. This is totally a fetish. It's totally weird sexual behavior. And even his whole name, blank days of girlhood or becoming a girl. You're not even if you were transitioning, why wouldn't he say a woman? Why is it a girl? That's a really odd thing. And now they've become, lionized by, right? But also, become examples for young children. And I think it's just so damaging. And you have activists from the 60s who sort of said, we're going to have equality between men and women, trying to blur the lines between distinctions between men and women. And now I think we've seen that that's really backfired. And now people can't say what is and isn't a woman. Like you saw from the famous Matt Walsh documentary, no one can say what it is. And the losers and the victims are women.
I make a distinction between Lia Thomas and Dylan Mulvaney in the following way. I think Lia Thomas has got issues, as I said. I think this is somebody working out their kink on America and its female swimmers. I think Lia Thomas was a middling at best male swimmer and was like in the mid-4 to mid-500s ranked. And then apparently, because of all the likes that Lia Thomas has put to this AG whatever situation and all the, men in their dresses with hard-ons staring at themselves in the mirror. I mean, it's very strange. If that's what you get off on, and you get sexually aroused by dressing as a woman and then you want to parade around in a woman's locker room, there's an issue. I think Dylan Mulvaney wanted to be a star. And the reason I'm landing here is that Price is Right video. I saw this video. I'll show it, but it's been all over Twitter. And I thought, okay, this version of Dylan, I really like. This version of Dylan is fun and kind of charming and is an obviously gay male who's gender nonconforming, right? He looks a little bit more like a woman. I love this version of Dylan. There is a place in America for this version of Dylan. That Dylan did not have to cross over into trying to actually be a woman to be accepted. But he did to be a star, which is clearly what he wanted if you look at the moment he won this particular game on Price is Right. Here it is.
You get to spin the wheel.
Yeah, you get to spin the wheel, but guess what? You get a second chance in this game first.
No way. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm still in it.
Yes. You got it. Dylan's a winner. Dylan's a winner. Dylan, nice job, man.
What do you make of it, Amala? Because I see that and I say, yes, Dylan's fun. Dylan likes to be the center of attention. Dylan is a gender nonconforming, likely gay man. Fine, great. We've had that in America forever. Yes, 50 years ago it was a different story, but in today's day and age, that's fine and it's beloved and you'd be the hit of most parties. Dylan, since transitioning over to being, quote, a woman, has made bank. Dylan's now getting to meet the president of the United States, getting letters from the vice president of the United States, getting celebrated in primetime specials on NBC for being, quote, a girl. I mean, it's crazy what's happened in that 365 days.
I think you're absolutely right, Megyn. This is exactly what Dylan wanted for his life. I was one of the first podcasters to ever talk about Dylan when he was up and rising on TikTok. And it was criticism that had been levied towards him many times before. But because it came from a podcast, he made a whole TikTok video crying about all the hate that he was getting from a conservative podcaster and basically mobilizing his fans to fan the flames of a feud, to throw hatred towards me. And if you look into Dylan's past, I mean, he is a performer. He's been in musical theater, a very famous musical by the name of Book of Mormon. He has wanted to be an actor for quite some time and details his life in LA, traveling around to different auditions. You have that Price is Right video. You have old videos of him attempting to be a comedian on TikTok and Instagram. And his very first video of day one of being a girl or day one of girlhood was a comedic video where he took cheap shots at stereotypes of females saying, I wrote a scathing letter that I'm never going to send. I told everybody that I was fine when I wasn't. And now that Dylan has chosen to transition, I think largely due to the popularity of his videos and the backing of a very strong dogma-based audience, he's now selling out shows. He just recently did a musical performance for the Trevor Project, and it was so popular that the streaming sites that were trying to access this performance crashed because of how many people wanted to see him. And that's exactly what he loves. It's what he wants to hear. And he will feed into this transition as long as he can to garner this audience.
We have some of that from the Rainbow Room, the NBC building. Watch.
I'm going to say something that might make people feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'm trying really hard to maintain a relationship with God, and I don't think that he made a mistake with me. And that maybe one day I will actually be grateful for being trans. That this isn't some curse, but it's just a different path to the same destination. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building.
Oh my God.
If I only could.
Notice that there were no tears, and he wasn't wavering at all while he was singing. There was no crying behind the singing at all. Oh, goodness.
That is the most cynical clip I've ever seen in my life, Amala. The acting, like, God didn't make a mistake. Correct. God didn't make a mistake on you. You're a man. You are a man. That's why he put you in a man's body, and you can be a gender nonconforming gay man, and there's nothing wrong with that. You didn't need to cross over. You did it for bucks, for big dollars and big attention, which is your real drug of choice. And to invoke the name of God, 2 seconds, he kind of had me, he was like luring me in, Amala, for a second. They're like, oh, well, God, he's, la, 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 la.
Yeah.
Okay. For the first time ever, our friends at GenuCell are introducing and offering an amazing deal. It includes both the Ultra Retinol and the Dark Spot Corrector in their most popular package at GenuCell.com/MK60. Right now, save over 70% off GenuCell's most popular package, all their best stuff, just in time for the warm spring weather. Featuring GenuCell's Ultra Retinol that contains a powerful retinol alternative, safe on your skin in the summer sun, and GenuCell's Dark Spot Corrector to reduce the appearance of dark spots and sunspots from long summer days outside. Plus, you will still receive GenuCell's world-class under-eye bags treatment for those annoying, wait for it, under-eye bags, and for puffiness too. And with its immediate effects product, you'll see results in as little as 12 hours guaranteed or your money back. Don't wait. Go to GenuCell.com/MK60 to save over 70% off their most popular package. Plus, every order includes a luxury gift box with 2 free springtime essentials. Plus, free concierge shipping for a limited time. GenuCell.com/MK60. That's GenuCell.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.